No one has any respect for the other teams involved in this. No one has any respect for the teams that worked hard to get here. No one has any respect for the other teams that are ahead of the Lakers and the Mavericks. This is a marketing scam. It's a marketing scam to get you to tune in and believe that these are the two best teams in all of basketball. And it's not the two best teams by a long shot in all of basketball, not even close. But the NBA is turning into more of a marketing league. We're trying to market the players, the drama of the players, and that's what we're about to see here. So if you're a Laker fan, my sons are Laker fans. They're watching this game tonight like it's a big deal. I want to know from you if you think it's a big deal, because it's Luka, Austin Reeves, LeBron James, Hachimura, and Jackson Hayes are your starters for the Lakers. And there's no Anthony Davis, but we got Kyrie Irving, Max Christie, Klay Thompson, who's a good player, P.J. Washington, and Kessler Edwards, all available to go tonight. So if I'm Anthony Davis, I'm kind of bitter that I'm moving around from the Lakers. Clearly, the Lakers feel like they stole Luka Doncic. They stole him, and they feel pretty good about that. But Kyrie and Luka are hugging it out. I want to give Kyrie Irving a little bit of credit. I'm not a Kyrie guy, but he laid flowers down at the Kobe and his daughter's statue outside, which I thought was a really good class act. So those are some of the things I wanted to hit on as we open up the show here. Tonight's a good night to see if you're interested in the NBA. Tonight's a great night for this, because you're either with the NBA because you're going to tune into this on TNT, a massive game with LeBron James, who's the second GOAT behind Michael Jordan, a 25-year-old Luka Doncic, and Kyrie Irving, who you might not have liked over the last couple of years. You're going to say, yeah, I'm going to watch this whole game, or you're just going to pay attention to the final quarter. I'd like to hear from some NBA fans on the importance of this game tonight, because I don't think Luka's goal is to come out and put up 50. I think it's on April 9th, if I got that date right, when he goes back to Dallas. That'll be the big game, because it'll make Dallas really uncomfortable. Luka will be coming back. The Lakers are better with Luka. So I think that game's going to mean a little bit more. I'd like your feelings on this at 888-623-3646, which is the number. All right, so let me tell you another big thing, which is really important to me. Today is one of the best days to be on the radio. I did my local show today. I did a podcast, and I thought it was a great day to be on the radio because we have really good NFL sound. I mean, we get unbelievable NFL sound that comes out that we love, because it's the first time the new GMs get to speak. And it's the first time that the new head coaches on the new teams get to speak. And that's pretty cool, because some guys like Pete Carroll, who are amazing today, they get a chance to speak, and you're like, wow, Pete Carroll. Remember Pete Carroll with the Seahawks? Man, he's with the Raiders now. I wonder what he thinks about it. You get to see Kellen Moore, and he just won a Super Bowl, and he's now with New Orleans. And Aaron Glenn with the Jets. It's a pretty big day for content for football fans around the country. It's a little bit of taste. It's called an appetizer. And you get an appetizer this time of year, and I think people enjoy that. And we got a lot of sound to get to here. I'm going to try to get to as much of it as I can as I open up the show here. But we're back in sports to another lame topic, which means I have to call you out on the mat. I have to personally call you out and get your opinion on something in sports that they're trying to change while you're not paying attention. You're doing your job. You might have 2 jobs. You're trying to put food on the table. You're trying to do great by your family. You want to go on a vacation. I don't expect you in February, end of February, to pay attention to everything. But now the league is going to take into consideration the banning of the tush push, because the Eagles can do it and move their body and be strong enough to move a football a yard or 2 or 2.5 yards. Other teams can't defend it. The other teams are whining about it, and they might change the rule. You see, one of the things I plant my flag on, I will die on this hill in sports, is when the leagues continue to take away our sports of our youth. And they try to change it because they're worried about the youth coming up behind us being softer and softer and not paying attention and trying to trick up sports that we all loved, because they believe we need to dumb it down more, or we need to make it softer, or we need to make it stupid because we can get more people to pay attention and watch. Can you imagine getting rid of a quarterback sneak? It's the best way anybody's going to describe it. Give me credit for it, because that's the best way to describe it. There potentially several teams meeting privately to go behind the back of Nick Sirianni and Howie Roseman so they can find enough people to believe in them, like a negotiation at NATO, to try to say, man, look, we can't stop the Eagles. They just won the world championship. Let's try to get this tush-push banned. Maybe we can't do it this year, but maybe we can do it next year, because we can't stop a play where they snap the ball, the quarterback gets the ball and pushes forward a yard and a half for a first down or a touchdown. That's what it is. So what they're going to do is they're going to consider it, because there's not enough grown-ass men in the room, big grown-ass men who can tell everybody, shut up. Just shut up and stand over there on the other side of the room. You can't stop the play. You go figure it out. No, we can't do that. We have to change the rules potentially. So this is the big story of the day today. I'm going to lead with it because it was the biggest story from the Combine. Everybody talked about it. First off, we start off with Nick Sirianni on the proposal, and Sirianni knows about it because he found out the Packers don't want to see it anymore.
I've seen some of the stuff like, well, about what that it's an automatic play, or, that it's not. We work really, I almost feel a little insulted because we work so hard at that play. Automatic thing that, like, we work really, really hard, and our guys are talented at 1 minute, and so it's a little insulting to say it's just we're good at it, so it's automatic. Every week I watch every first and goal red zone fail every single time. And sometimes that first and goal starts at the 1, and you see the team not be able to get in because they're not able to do that. And so I think that it's a skill that our team has because of the players that we have, the way the coaches coach it. That all right, 10 seconds. So much time put into it. The fact that it's a successful play for the Eagles, and people want to take that away.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said here. He said we do it good. You can't stop it. You're offended by it, and we're offended that you're offended by it. I couldn't have summed it up better. Man, how would you like to be Nick Sirianni now? I give him permission to go buy a house in Philadelphia, because every coach who's ever coached in Philadelphia is rented, because even if they win, if they fail, they're going to get fired. Nick Sirianni is a made man. He's now standing up at the NFL Combine, reminding everybody that the Eagles are the world champs, and we can't believe we're sitting here having to address this issue on the opening of the Combine because other teams can't defend a physical play. Other teams can't put their nose tackles in a position to stop this play, and you want to take it away from us. We earn the advantage to run this play. Here's Brian Gutekunst of the Green Bay Packers. Man, this guy's got to feel pretty embarrassed because he didn't want to get it out, but everybody knows it's the Packers who are whining like a bunch of little girls.
I'm aware of it. We really haven't had very many discussions about it. I'm sure we will over the next few weeks as we head into the owners' meetings. But so I'm aware that we did, but really haven't had many discussions about it.
Oh, that's amazing. He's just basically lying. I love when we catch people lying. I love catching people lying. Oh, he's not really aware of it. He doesn't know. Bull crap. You guys met on at Green Bay. You're the guys who got all worked up on it. Now the Green Bay Packers are the team that started this. Even Andy Reid, who ended up losing the Super Bowl, right? Chris Jones couldn't stop the tush push. The great Andy Reid was called to the mat there at his opening press conference in Indianapolis at the NFL Combine and had to answer this question.
I understand how it can go both ways. I think it takes certain players to be able to do that. that's not an easy thing for the center. I was close to their center, so I know that's not an easy thing to do. My hat goes off to them for making it as consistent as they are doing it. Now, there are other things you have to look at. You got to look at the injuries they take play, or whatever the other deals are that they evaluate on it. So I don't have all that information.
Andy Reid said it's a heck of a play. Andy Reid got beaten in the Super Bowl by the world champion Eagles, and Andy Reid once again had to answer the question, and he said it's a heck of a play. This is not about the tush push, everybody. It's not. And I don't think it's about player safety because it's a quarterback sneak that's done legally. I think this issue becomes the way I frame it every time I get a topic like this, and it's the dumbing down of America. It's the dumbing down of sports. It's being soft. It's getting beat and not taking your beating with the scoreboard and complaining about it and wanting the rules to change. That's the way I see it. If you see it differently than me, let me know. 888-623-3646. I'm on 6-7 nights a week during the NFL regular season, and we never talk about the tush push other than in a couple of Eagles games, and now we're talking about it at the Combine when we should be talking about who's going to be the first quarterback taken, who's going to be the first running back taken. This was a big story today, so I want to get some new opinions on this. Maybe you're a high school football coach listening. Maybe you're the mom of a player watching this. Look, if they ran this every game, 15 times a game, and the defensive nose tackle was getting his neck hit every time and really was in a situation where he could get hurt, that's what Sean McDermott's now doing. He's kind of moving this to player health and safety. And if the league believes, as Tony Kornheiser said earlier today on PTI, if the league believes that this is a dangerous play, they took the onside kick out of the game. They took other things out of the game this year. So if they believe that this is a dangerous play, believe me, they're going to eventually remove it. But I am just damn sick and tired of everybody bitching and moaning every time they can't stop something to want to change the rules. I don't care if it's in politics. I don't care if it's in the economy. I don't care if it's in sports. If you're getting your ass kicked, take the ass kicking and figure out a way to stop it. It's really similar to running up the score. That's the analogy I had with one of my sons today. We were talking about this. I live in a town in Vegas where we got this really powerhouse football and basketball team. And sometimes you go to the game and it's 75-10 in the second half of the game, and it's called running up the score. And then you try to take some of the players out so you don't run up the score, and the subs come in and run it up by another 20. And people go crazy. Well, if you can't stop the team, don't play the game. But I also believe in sportsmanship. I'm a big sportsmanship guy. I believe in good quality sportsmanship, shaking hands at the end of the game and all this. And I just think the Packers opened up a can of worms with all this because the Packers can't handle it and they can't figure out how to get better players to do this. Even Mike Wilbon said, I just watched it before we came on, part of the prep of the show. This is a power move. This is like powerlifting. What are you going to do if you're a weightlifter, a professional weightlifter, and the guy that wins every competition can bench press 30 pounds more than everybody else? Are we going to kick him out of the tournament because he's too good and he's never going to lose? I mean, come on. Load up a linebacker in the slot. Load up two there and see if you can stop the play. That's one of the things I'll be talking about tonight. And then I love all the sound. I really do. We got a lot of good sound tonight that I'm going to pound through. And we're going to get into all of this on what some of the head coaches said, some of the teams, new teams that are excited about this. We got sound from Aaron Glenn. We got sound from Joe Shane. Ooh, the GM. Let's get a little of that if we can get the situation that's going on here. Shown 6, he was asked about Saquon Barkley. So this is the first time Joe Shane, the GM of the Giants, had to go in front of a really big crowd and kind of take his penance for the fact that he got nothing for Saquon, and Saquon won a championship and had an unbelievable year.
Saquon obviously went on to win the Super Bowl, and we wish him nothing but the best. Always going to evaluate all the decisions you make, and we were at a different place in our build. And again, love Saquon and wish him nothing but the best.
And then we have one more other pretty important soundbite here from John Harbaugh, because wherever there's smoke, there's fire. And remember, the cover-up at times, the cover-up is bigger than the crime. Maybe not in this case when it comes to Justin Tucker and the allegations that he has with these masseuses and illicit conduct and what he did and if he crossed the line, because there's a lot of people who said he did. When did the Ravens know about this? It happened from 2012 to 2016. It's now 2025. It was a tough day for the Ravens at the Combine, including head coach John Harbaugh, who answered this question.
So I knew it was when I read it. And then, I don't know, a week and a half, 2 weeks after that, I gave Justin a call on a Sunday morning, and we had a conversation about it, talked about it. More about, just more from a perspective of being together for all these years, kind of what he was going through and, what he was dealing with that, and kind of how he's handling with his family and things like that.
It's a big soundbite because basically Harbaugh on the record is saying we didn't know about it. Okay, let's make sure everybody didn't know about it. God forbid someone knew about this over in Owing Mills where they're headquartered. God forbid there is a text message thread, an email chain. God forbid someone knew about this and they covered it up. So that's just a couple of headlines as we open up the show. 888-623-3646 is the number. And I like this day. I really do think it's a great day. I didn't go to the Combine. I'm not a big Combine guy coming off the Super Bowl, but everybody who's down there is loving it. There's a lot of big topics and great sound coming off all of this. Jeff in Houston on the Packers alerting the league to the tush push. Go ahead, Jeff.
I agree with you 100%. There's no way the Packers would have complained if they would have won the game. And I lost all respect that I have for that team because, like you said, if you don't like the way it's done, man up and stop it. And I think it would be terrible to take away something that Philadelphia has perfected where, are they going to tell Patrick Mahomes you can't throw the ball underhand anymore? Team's good at something, you got to let it go. And I think it's a much to do about nothing.
Well, I don't know if it's much to do about nothing. Thanks for the call. I think it's much to do about a lot. Again, I think it's a quarterback sneak play the way I described it. And the fact that all the teams seem not to be able to stop it. Pretty much all the teams don't need to stop it. So I think what Green Bay did, and I think Green Bay's gutless also to be the team to do it. But maybe, I talked to someone today on radio who said, every time Philadelphia runs this play, the center is offsides. And I said, what do you mean? Well, look at it. The center has his helmet over the ball. Normally you have the football in front of you with your hand and your back. And they say, if you look down the line, just look down the line of scrimmage, often it looks like the center for the Eagles is offsides, and that's an unfair advantage. I don't know about that. I think the NFL would have figured that out if it was an unfair advantage and called offsides on the Eagles there, or, the Eagles lining up in the neutral zone. But it's something I'm going to look at a little bit closely here. But I'm going to stay with all your phone calls on this because it means a lot to me. We got a couple of guests coming up here, Combine guest overall, and we'll dive into this. When did sports get so soft? Let's do a show on that sometime, a podcast. When did the world change where sports got soft in the NBA? It's not soft in hockey. Hockey, it's great. But, a lot of these other sports, baseball, speed up the game, ghost runner on second base, can't run into the catcher. We can't run into the catcher and try to knock the ball out of the catcher. We don't want to do the tush push. It might be illegal. When did we bleep and get so soft? And who do you blame? That's a good topic. Who do you blame for the softness of American sports leagues when this happens? That's a good one because I think we could point some fingers on this tonight. JT in Vegas, 888 Mad Dog 6, Sports Radio's most interactive show. That's what I do at night. No matter when you put me out at night, I'm ready to roll. This is Mad Dog Sports Radio. We are. Let's say hi to my chat and I'll say goodbye to them. Hello, everybody in the must-listen monologue, man. Someday we're going to have 200 people instead of 15 or 20. Some days we're going to have the biggest stream, like a nightcap with Ocho Cinco. I appreciate you being here, everybody. Thank you. We got Lakers 23, Dallas 18. We're underway in Los Angeles. So I'm going to keep this going for about another 5 minutes, coming out of the break, and then I got to sign off. I always sign off before I get a guest on. And we do that because this is a pay-per-view service, this show. and just want to do the monologue and kind of give everybody a couple headlines here at night. And I think when you do these podcasts or these live streams, I think they should only be for 20 minutes, 25 minutes anyway. You can get everything into that monologue the way I like to do it. All right, and our first guest coming up. Our first guest is right here at the bottom, right? Correct. Okay. Okay, thank you. I think it's De Leon, but if it's De Leon E, put a capital E in the box or in the text. That would help me. Yeah, the E at the last E. Yeah, that would be it. Yes. Does he think it's violent? Ooh. Okay, you're in the health and safety window, which I'm okay with. I'm all right with that. Yeah, good point. And I make that point a lot, but you made it very well. That's a good point. You're putting a lot of D linemen at risk on the tush push. There, we saw Chris Jones take a. Okay. So fresh hot Doritos. Mm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, he did. Yeah, that's why he put that offensive line together. It's a bigger, stronger offensive line. They don't even have Jason Kelsey anymore.
Now back to Mad Dog Sports Radio tonight. Now here's your host.
Yeah, everybody, we got Joe De Leon coming up next from the mock draft perspective, and we'll get into all this coming up here in a minute. But I was just talking to Jeremy Hubers coming up here with the update, and he had a really strong opinion also on how to stop this. If you're a defensive lineman with the tush push, you have to put your body, your neck, your brain health on the line and get into the bottom of that pile to try to stop it. That becomes a health and safety issue. But they're playing football and they have shoulder pads and helmets and braces on their neck. And maybe you got to have a guy on your roster if you play in the NFC East that could go against the Eagles, and you bring him in just on 4th and short because he's bigger, stronger, can get down lower, and he can stop that play. Other people are saying if you're getting your ass kicked, take your ass kicking like a man. We're not seeing that in the NFL. And for the NFL, I think this is a great day for Philadelphia. Because Philadelphia, you Eagles fans, you dirty, stinking, green, drunk birds, you're in the head of everybody. Not only did you win the Super Bowl, but you're in the head of half the teams at the Combine because they don't know how to stop you. That's got to make you feel really good about all this. John in Pennsylvania, as we're discussing the tush push. Go ahead, John.
The tush push. I don't have a problem with it. Now, let me ask you this. Wasn't this stopped about a year ago when the Eagles had that.
Mm.
Snow, it's a quarterback sneak, and it can be stopped. And again, I have a couple of things for you. I don't know how long you're going to give me breath here, but we seem to be really glorifying the Philadelphia Eagles. The last time I spoke with you, you said Nick Sirianni. Is real. Okay, I see his coordinators around him.
Goodbye. Get him off the air again. Get him off the air again. It's the same clown who took over my show the last time and wanted to spin on Nick Sirianni with the same garbage phone call. And because I've been doing this longer than anybody, I blow guys like him up again. He comes in trying to say something nice, and then he comes in like an idiot and wants to just crush the show and take it over and rip on Sirianni. A round of applause for me for stopping him again as quickly as I do. That takes 30 years of experience generating calls and talking to callers. You tried it again, bring it here every time you want. Every time you want, you'll get the same treatment. Just to come here and trash Nick Sirianni on a huge platform and think you can get away with it and talk about your gut. The guy's a Super Bowl championship head coach who kicked the living crap out of Andy Reid and his staff and embarrassed Andy Reid's staff to the point where they almost were going to get shut out in the Super Bowl and give up 40 or 50. So congratulations to Nick Sirianni and the Eagles. I don't like the Eagles at all. I root against the Eagles, but I give credit where credit's due. 888 Mad Dog 6. Coming up next, we'll dive into the day at the Combine, some of the insights that we got. But first, here's your Mad Dog Sports Bite. Jeremy Huber. All right, everybody, I got to bail. Thanks so much. Appreciate it. We'll do it again, just us one night without the radio. Thank you.